Every freaking time I go to record a video, the guy's using his weed whacker.
Looky here, folks. I'm Willie Weed with the latest new thing from Verntel. It's the Weed Whacker. Wee-haw!
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Steve Harper with Ripple Effect, and I got a video that I wanted to do today to just talk about community. Community actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico revolves around these things, books. There is this great, all in this neighborhood where my son is renting his house, is this great movement afoot where there's this free book library. We actually have one in our neighborhood on the other side of our neighborhood back home, just one place. These are scattered throughout the neighborhood, and every time that you walk up to one of these boxes, they're extremely creative in terms of the look and view of the box that contains the books, and it's encouraged for you to leave a book and then to take a book. And so I was out riding my bike this morning. It's actually not my bike. I'm using a service called Pace where I can rent a bike for $1 for a half hour. And I was riding back through one of the parks and saw their little inviting neighborhood library. And so I decided to stop and select a book. And while I was doing that, somebody stopped, had a conversation with me about how great the books are and what they do to make sure that people are constantly bringing books back and that people just take care of it, and how it's become a real kind of social community thing. And I'm wondering to myself, how do we create this movement out there in the world? How do we create a way for us to have these types of things that would be also for books, but maybe something else, like a positive note for somebody, like leaving a positive note for somebody to come by and pick up, just a pick-me-up, if you will, and to leave a note. I know there's been like all these different social kind of experiments and statements out there where people kind of write stuff on a wall. And those things are cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I was thinking, how cool would it be for you to go to these boxes and collect a book or drop off a book and pick up a positive note? I don't know, may have to try something like this back home. I'm just thinking, pontificating, trying to find some ways to generate and create community. Get people to have a conversation, get people to engage, find a mechanism for people to maybe meet at the little neighborhood book nook, if you will, and have a conversation and engage with one another. How cool would that be? I think it'd be pretty cool. I don't know. If you're interested in suggesting how we might get this accomplished, or if you know who started this in Albuquerque, New Mexico, please let me know, because I would be very curious to talk to that person and find out what I could about how they got the process underway. Super simple way to transport yourself around the city. So literally park back there is where I'm picking up my Pace bike. I brought an extra one back from one of the bike stations just so there were 2 bikes there in case people around this neighborhood really like using it. I wanted to be able to have one there, so, and available, and I've used it quite a bit the last couple of days being here. It has been super convenient. Really, I'm amazed. It basically has opened up my ability to be close to, well, not close, but get to just about anything, because right now where I'm at is not super convenient from a walking perspective. I mean, you can get there, but it's gonna take a while. So this made going to the grocery store the other day really easy. Made going to grab a couple of beers yesterday super awesome. And managed to get back to the house without crashing, or back to the bike rack without crashing. I don't know if you could be in trouble for operating a vehicle, bike, under the influence, but I wasn't that influenced. And then today I just went to my favorite pizza place in Albuquerque, Dion's. It's a pretty good distance from here, but took no time to get there by the bike. Locked it up on a regular bike rack, ate, came back, bike's still there, and bike back to the house. It's pretty cool. Oh, the book that I got? Born Standing Up, Steve Martin. Looks pretty good. In fact, the book looks brand new. So I'm gonna read it this week, see what I think. But I love Steve Martin. Who could not love Steve Martin? In fact, did you see on Netflix Steve Martin and Martin Short's little variety hour? You want some fairly PG rated humor and just a fun way to spend an hour, definitely check that out. Then I'm going to read this book. Now I'm going to read this book because I already watched that video on Netflix. So now I can figure out how Steve Martin became Steve Martin. So until next time, Steve Harper, be nice to one another. Go out there, create some positive ripples. See ya. Ripple on.